Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in the last week, I explained about data types, variables, identifiers, keywords in Python. In today's session, I will be explaining about operators as well as, if time permits, conditional statements also I will explain. So let us share my screen. So in today's session, I will explain about operators as well as conditional statements. So coming to operators. So operator is nothing but you have to perform certain type of operations by using operands. Okay, operand is nothing but any variable or any expression. So coming to operators in Python, we have 6 different types of operators: arithmetic operators, assignment operators, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise, and finally special operators. So operator is nothing but which is used to perform operations on an operand. Coming to arithmetic operators. So in arithmetic operators, we are using addition for addition, plus, subtraction, minus, multiplication, star. All these you know in the previous programming languages like Java or C something. But here the division is slight difference from an existing programming languages. So when you are using single slash, it is nothing but floating point division. The division returns decimal point value. For example, if you are giving the value like 10 by 3, it gives the result as 3.33333 something. Whereas in Java or earlier C programmings, slash is used to retrieve the quotient, only quotient of a division. But here the division is used to retrieve single slash, that is used to retrieve decimal point values. Whereas coming to floor division, you are using for retrieving quotient value. So quotient value, for example, 10 divided by 3. 3 3s are 9 and the remainder is 1. If you want to retrieve only the quotient, then you have to use double slash. Okay. Next, coming to modulus. Modulus is used that it returns the remainder value, that is 1. Coming to exponential value, which is used to return the power of a comma b. For example, if you are giving 2 double star 3, it means 2 power 3. 2 into 2 into 2, it returns the value as 8. So all these are basic arithmetic operators which are used in Python. So the difference between earlier programming languages and this Python is the division. In division, you have to use only either single slash or double slash depending upon the context. If you are retrieving floating point value of a division value, then you are using single slash. If you are using only, if you want to retrieve only the quotient, then you have to use floor division, isn't it? Next, coming to next assignment operators. So sorry ma, here that is single equal, not double equal. So assignment operator, we are using only single equal. Assignment operator is used to assign some value to the variable. Okay. Next, this is shortcut assignment operators. When you are performing C is equals to C plus A, that means you are adding A to the C as well as and assigning the same value into C. At that time, these shortcut evaluation operators you can use. Simply when you are assigning any value to that particular variable, simply you are using equal. When you are adding something to that particular variable and also storing to the same variable, then you are using shortcut assignment operator. Okay. So like when we are using this particular some C is equals to, you are adding again some A value to that particular A. Okay, at that time, you can simplify this expression as C plus equals to A. That means you are retrieving the content from this particular variable and add A to that particular variable and again assign to that particular variable. So here we can call it as simple assignment operator. This is call it as shortcut assignment operator because the shortcut operator assigns excuse me, assigns the rightmost expression. This is call it as R value. This is call it as L value. So this R value is added to L value and again store it into this particular variable. Okay. So you can perform all these operations like this. Next, coming to next operator, relational operators. So relational operators are used to know the relation between two operands or know the relation between two conditions. A condition may be a variable or a condition may be a relation between two variables. For example, if you want to know whether 9 less than or equals to 10, if you want to find out whether this particular value is lesser than this particular value, or you know the comparison between two operands. So one operand is A and another operand is B, and you want to find out the relation between these operands. The relation may be any one of these, whether it may be a less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to, lesser or greater than. Comparison between any two operands, as well as you know whether these two values may be equal or not equal. So this particular relational operators returns the Boolean value. Either it returns true or false depending upon the condition. Suppose if the condition is satisfied, then it returns true. If the condition is not satisfied, then it returns false value. Okay, you can compare the relation between two operands by performing any one of these operators: lesser than or equals to, lesser or equal, greater than or equal, only equality, not equal, simple less than, on strict greater than. All these are relational operators. Next, coming to logical operators. Logical operators is used to perform comparison between two conditions. So we have three different logical operators. You can write like this. And in earlier programming languages, Java, C, we are using double ampersand symbol, double ampersands, that is N, two pipe symbols, or exclamatory is for not. But in Python, we are directly using it as end. For example, we have three different types of variables: A, B, and C. Now you have to check the biggest among these three numbers. So if you want to find biggest among these three numbers, first you have to check whether A is greater than B or not. Similarly, again you have to check A is greater than C or not. That means you can check whether A is greater than or equals to B and so the A must bigger than both A as well as B. At that time you have to use the logical operator AND. So as well as A must greater than or equals to C also. So you have to check the same A with both A as well as both C. Sorry. So if both the conditions must be true. So if A greater than or equals to B and A greater than or equals to C, both conditions true, then only it returns true. If the first condition is true and the second condition is false, then it returns false. So AND means both conditions must be in true case, then only it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Similarly in the OR you have, so comparison between, similarly I want to compare A, B and C like that. So passing of marks, when you consider passing of marks, for example, this is first subject marks, this is second subject marks, and this is third subject marks when you consider. So the first subject also are getting less than 35, or if the person having in second subject also less than 35, or third variable also less than 35. So here you are using OR. So any one of the subject having less than 35. For example, A less than 35. Yes, first subject having lesser marks. For example, if the person getting in the first subject 23 for assumption. So 23 less than 35, it is true. So true. So in the second subject, he got 75. So 75 less than 35, false. In third subject, he got 80. Again, the condition false. So in R, any one of the condition must be true, then the result is true. Okay. So in N, all the conditions must be true. In OR, any one of the condition must be true, then the result is also true. Coming to NOT, if the condition is true, then it returns false. If the condition is false, it returns true, vice versa. So all these are logical operators which are used to compare two conditions. Okay. So whereas relational operators which are used to compare between two operands, coming to logical operators which are used to compare two conditions, to not to many number of conditions, maybe in sometimes. Okay, at that time you are using logical operators. The next one is bitwise operators. So bitwise operators are used to perform operations on a bits, which are familiarly used in micro operations. Okay. So bitwise AND we are using AND. Bitwise or simply pipe symbol. For bitwise NOT, tilde symbol. Okay. It is nothing but a tilde symbol. Bitwise or cap, this is right shift and this is left shift. Okay. So for example, I am taking the x value as 30 and y value as 114. So convert this decimal value into a binary. Okay. So according to binary, so this is 1, 2, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 16, 32, and this is 64, and this is 128. So according to 8-bit representation of data, you can represent the data. For example, I am taking x is equal to 30 means 16 plus 8, 24, 24 plus 4, 28, 28 plus 2, 30. So all these fours are represented conversion of this binary data, this decimal data into binary form. Similarly, 114. 114, when you add the bits 64, 32, 60, and 2, you got 114. So at that positions, we are keeping 1, and the remaining positions, we have to put zeros. Okay. Now coming to the bitwise operator AND. So this AND is nothing but similar logical AND operations, but when you are using single ampersand, that means you are performing bitwise AND on the values of bits of that particular variable. Okay. So 0, 0, both are false, so it becomes false. 0, 1. So both the conditions must be true, then only it returns true. So only both conditions true, then only this value true. Otherwise, the end returns false. In XOR Y, both conditions false, it returns false. Otherwise, in the remaining cases, it returns ones. Okay. So negation X means, tilde X means, so 0, 1, 0, 1, and 1 becomes 0. Okay. Bitwise XOR. Sorry ma, this is not OR, this is bitwise XOR. Okay, so this is bitwise OR, this is bitwise XOR. XOR in the sense, so both the values must be same. Then it returns false. If both values are different, it returns true. Okay, so that means X, Y, both values are same, it returns false. If the values are different, 0, 1 or 1, 0, if the values are different, it returns true. If the values of both X and Y are same, then it returns 0. Okay. So right shift and left shift operators are used to perform clock pulse operations in microprocessors. So clock pulse flow, when you are using right shift, the value of an operand will be decreased, and when you are performing left shift, the value will be increased. Here you can see X right shift 2 bits. So this is the value of X. You are moving right shift to 2 bits. Then these 2 bits are moving completely. So then this one will be placed here. And this one placed here. This one. So the vacant bits will be filled with 0. Then the value is, change it as 7. So 4, 2, 1. When you are adding these 3 bits, it results 7. So coming to right shift, left shift. When you are using left shift, these 2 bits are moved to left side. Okay. So and this 0 will be filled with here. This one here. This one. And finally, last 2 bits filled with 0. Whatever the data it contains, but the vacant positions will be filled with only zeros. At that time, the value will be changed to 120. Okay. So in left shift, the value will be increased. In right shift, the value will be decreased. Next, finally, special operators. Special operators are used it as membership operators. So membership operators in the sense whether that particular item is in that particular list or not. If you want to check it by using membership operators. For example, if you contains or if you take an array, A contains some number of elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and you want to find out whether 30 in that particular element or in that array or not. At that time, you can simply check 30 in A. That means if it is in that particular array, then it automatically returns true. If it is not in that particular array, then it returns false. Okay. Similarly, identity operators. So identity operators is equal or is not equal. If you want to check like that, you can use is not operators. Okay. Now we can perform all these in a practical session. So go to Python IDE. Okay. So let I am taking A value as 10 and B value as 3. So first coming to arithmetic operators, we have arithmetic operators plus, minus, star, single slash, double slash, modulus, and exponential. Okay, let us see one by one. So for example, if you want to perform addition, A plus, sorry, B 13. So A minus B, which is 7. Next, similarly, A into B, 30. Next, similarly, A slash B, observe these two marks. So 10 by 3, that means it returns integer values 3.3333 like that. When you are using double slash, it returns only the quotient. Okay. Similarly, if you want to retrieve the remainder, so 10 divided by 3, 3 3s are 9, and the remainder value is 1. Similarly, if you want to find out 10 power 3, so A power 3, then 2 power 3, that means 2 into 2 into 2, that means 8. Okay, so all these are operators in arithmetic operators used in Python. Okay, plus, minus, star, floating division, floor division. This is called it as floor, FLOOR, round it, round of the value. Okay, that means you are retrieving the quotient, modulus, and power value. Okay, next coming to assignment operators. So assignment operators we are using. So like as I already told that sum C is equal to 10, which means we are assigning the 10 value into C. Similarly, when we are adding A to C, you may write like this or C plus A like this. Okay. So when you want to see print, sorry, Within parenthesis, we have to give it. So 30. Okay. So similarly, C minus is equals to A. Like that, you can use all the assignment operators. Okay. So this is assignment operator. This is shortcut assignment operator. That means you are adding this particular variable to this variable as well as storing the value into this variable. Here you are subtracting A from C as well as storing the value into C. Similarly, relational operators. So you are comparing between two variables. Now see what are the values of A, B, C. Now comparing A less than or equals to B. A is 10, B is 3. 10 less than or equals to 3? No. So it returns false. Similarly, A greater than or equals to B? Yes. So it returns true. Similarly, A strict less than B, A strict greater than B. And for example, B also I am assigning A is equal to C. When you are using double equal, A double equals to C. Okay, suppose I am changing the value of C as 10. Now both are same, then it returns true. Similarly, A not equals to C. It returns false. Okay, so all these are relational operators. That means you can check the comparison between the relation between two operands, whether A equals to C or A not equals to C, whether A is bigger than B or A is bigger or equals to B, like that. All you can check by using relational operators. The relational operator, the single condition returns either true or false. Okay. Next, coming to logical operators. So, in logical operators, we have, again I am checking A, B, and C values. Okay. Now you can check the comparison between two conditions, whether A greater than or equals to B and A greater than or equals to C. A greater than or equals to B and A greater than or equals to C. So Alt P is used to retrieve the previous condition one. You don't need to write one more time. Alt P. Okay. Which means true. That means A is 10. 10 greater than or equals to 3 true. And 10 greater than or equals to 10 also true. So then it returns true. So again, Alt P. Now I am changing this condition as OR. It is also returns true. Because in OR, both conditions must be true, then it returns true. Okay. So if you want to check 10 greater than or equals to 3, it's true. And 10 less than 3 is false. Then it returns false. Because in n, both conditions must be true, then only it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay. Like that, you can check all the logical operators. Similarly, we can perform bitwise operators. So in bitwise operators, the x value is 30 and y value is 114. Now check x left shift to 2 and x right shift to 2. So see the values. When you are using right shift, the value will be decreased. When you are using left shift, the value will be increased. Okay. Similarly, you can perform x and y. Okay. That means the x value will be converted into binary and the y value will also be converted into binary and perform bit by bit operations like 0 0 becomes 0, 0 1. So 0 1 0. So like that, what is the value here? 1 2 4 8 16. That means 16 plus 2, the value becomes 18. Here you can check it. Okay, like that the bitwise operators can be performed like XOR type symbol, X or Y. The value is 126. Okay, and X XOR Y, the value is 108. Like that you can check it out. Okay, similarly we are using identity operators, special operators. Okay, the special operators are identity operators and membership operators. Okay, so when you are using identity and membership operators, for example, I am taking the x value as 10, y is equal to 20, and again z is equal to 10. Now you can check x is y, and both x are y. That means both x and y are same? No. Suppose if x is z, yes, true, both are same. Similarly, x is not y, true. Okay, so become false becomes true now. So similarly, x is not z becomes false. Like that, you can check the membership operators. Similarly, other operators, I am telling in, not in. For that, you are taking list. I am not explaining list now, but for assumption, you have a list like this, and you can check whether uh, that particular element in list or not. 2 in list 1. If 2 is in list 1, it returns true. If 10 is in list 1, no. If it is not in that particular list, then it returns false. If 2 not in list 1, no, false, because it is in list 1. For that it is true. So these are membership operators. Okay. So these are special operators. Is used to compare between two variables, and in and not in is used to check membership operators. That means whether this particular element belongs to this particular data structure or not. At that time, we are using these values. Up to now, clear, ma? Do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No? Shall we go to conditional operators?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So conditional statement, we have different types of control statements in any programming languages. When you consider any programming language, the flow of execution of statements is call it as a control statement. Okay, so in general, any programming language, the flow of execution of that particular program is very important when you retrieve a particular output. Okay, so in that particular control statements, we have sequential statements, conditional statements, as well as looping or iterative statements. All these comes under control statements. In sequential statements, we have flow of execution. That means the statements will be executed line by line. For example, if you want to write a program of addition of two numbers, then you are reading a value of A, you are reading a value of B, and and add these two numbers and print that number. This is one sort of statement. Okay, so that means you are doing a flow of the execution must be in a sequential line by line. First reading of value of A, second reading a value of B, and perform the addition between two operands, and then print the value. There is no deviation of flow of execution. Okay, so the statements will be executed in a line by line. Okay, so coming to conditional statements, you have a chance to deviate your flow of execution in many number of branches. Like for example, here you consider whether an intermediate student thinks whether if I will pass in intermediate board of examination, then what is the career to choose? So whether I have to join MPC or MPCS, MECS, MSCS, like that. If he will fail, what it means, that is another branch of statements. Okay, you have so many branches based upon that particular condition. You have to check one condition. Here the condition may be a constraint. So a person having more value, for example, if you check the person eligible for voting or not. So if the person is eligible for voting, how you can say if the person is eligible for voting? If the person having age more than 18, you can say he is eligible for voting. If he is not having the age is more than 18, then you can say he is not eligible. Here the condition is person's age must be greater than 18. That should be the condition. Based upon the condition, you can deviate the execution of your program from different branches. If it is satisfies, what you have to do? If it is not satisfies, what you have to do? Okay, it is called it as conditional statement. Here in Python, we have 4 different types of conditional statements. Simple if else, elif, nested if. So coming to simple if. In simple if, we have only condition if. Okay. So we have only, this is a syntax for if condition. If within parentheses, you have to mention an expression and you have to give colon after this if and follow the indentation. By default, the indentation is 8 spaces and 8 spaces and the next statements. Okay. So if this particular expression is true, then the flow goes to execute statement 1 as well as statement 2. If the condition is false, then simply it goes to statements. If true, some sort of statements you have to execute and then go to this particular statements branch. Okay. So here one example I am giving. If you want to change the basic value of an employee, so you want to set the basic of all employees is 5,000. Then first you have to identify whose basic value is less than 5,000. Okay. Only those candidates of basic you want to change it. Okay. So then you have to read basic value. So this is the function which is used to read the basic value from the keyboard. Once you are reading, this value is in the form of strings. That's why again you have to convert this value into an integer type and assign the value into a basic variable. If this basic value is lesser than 5000, then simply you are assigning 5000 to those people. Only the persons having the basic is less than 5000. Otherwise, simply you have to print the basic value of an employee. Okay. So again, I will explain. So now quick move on to Anaconda editor. So in Anaconda, we are doing programs in a simplified manner, which is having a common platform for R as well as Python. We are using Jupyter Notebook, which is used to execute your programs, as well as you are also storing your Python program as a notebook. Earlier, we can call it this as Python, interactive Python notebook. Okay. So the extension of Python programs in Jupyter will be stored in .pypynb. That means interactive Python notebook. Normal extension is .py. Okay. So in Jupyter, the extension is IPYNB. So here, web-based interactive computing notebook environment. Why? Because we go for Jupyter, because it has huge number of libraries like pandas, numpy. Okay, all those we can use, we can import, and we can do more number of programs using those libraries. So simply open Anaconda Navigator and click on Launch button in Jupyter Notebook. So this is opening of home page of Jupyter Notebook. Here you can see new, and you can click on Python 3. Okay, so this is nothing but we can call it as a cell. Okay, so for example, if you want to addition of two numbers, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, and C is equals to A plus B, print C. Okay, when you execute, simply run. Okay, that means the value will be 30. Similarly, if you want to read the values from the console, so using input, enter value for A. Similarly, B, again you want to convert it to int, enter value for B. Now if you want to interchange these values, okay, take a temporary variable, assign A will be B is equals to T. Print A. So after swapping, print A, print B. Now execute, enter value for A 10 and enter value for B. So after swapping, A is 20, B is 10. Like that, you can execute your program in Jupyter Notebook. In Python IDE, each time when you are entering a command, it will be execute immediately. Okay, so Python IDE is an IDE interpreter. Okay, now we want to execute simple if program. Okay, so what you are doing here, you are reading the basic value of an employee and convert this into an integer. If the basic is less than 5,000, simply are assigning 5,000. Okay, so first uh, let's take name of an employee, enter name of an employee. After that, you have to read the basic value of an employee. So the basic you have to convert into integer. Enter basic of an employee. If this basic is less than 5,000 and you have to give colon, automatically the indentation moves to 8 spaces. Then simply you can change the basic value as 5,000. So after completion of that particular if statement, simply move back to back and print the basic, the name of an employee, the basic of an employee, so execute this program. So enter the name of the employee, something Bharti. Enter basic of an employee. For example, I am giving 50,000 of a basic. Then the name of the employee is Bharti and the basic of an employee is 50,000. Again, if you want to execute the same, again click on that particular cell and run once again. So name of the employee, for example, Johit, and the salary is 4,500. That means the basic salary of this particular person is 4,500. So whose basic salary is less than 5,000, then automatically you have to change the basic of that particular employee is 4,500 to 5,000. Okay. So the name of employee is Johit and the basic of an employee is 5,000. That means first you have to read the name of the employee and basic of an employee. Check here. 4,500 is less than 5,000. Yes, this condition true. So automatically basic is assigned to 5,000 and you have to print name of the employee and basic of employee. Here in the previous example you are giving 50,000. So 50,000 less than 5,000, the condition is false, so that it is not enter into this particular block. Simply print name and basic. Okay, so simple if is used for this type of examples. Okay, so now coming to if else. So the syntax for if else is if the condition, statement 1, statement 2, else, statement 3, statement 4, and these are the statements. That means if this is a condition true, statement 1, 2 executed and then go for statements. If it is false, another branch will be executed, that is statement 3, 4, and finally statements. Okay, so here see the example. If you are reading the age of a particular person and you can check whether this person age is greater than or equals to 18, you have to print he is eligible for voting. Otherwise, he is not eligible for voting. Okay, so do the same. So go to browser. Again, read name of a person, Next, you have to read age. Again, you have to convert it into integer, because always the values you have entered using input function is in the form of an string. That's why you have to convert it into an integer, like integer dot parse in Java. Okay. So enter the age of the person. Once you read the age, check whether this age is greater than or equals to keyboard distracts. Wait, now. So greater than or equals to 18 and give colon. Automatically indentation will come. Okay. Is eligible for voting. Else, then give colon, print not eligible for voting. Here print name of the person also. Execute this cell. So name of the person is Bharati, is eligible for voting. For example, here only you can give that particular name. So the comments is used like that. Hash is used for commenting any statement. Okay. So here also you can give. Bharati and the age is. So Bharati is eligible for voting. Similarly, Johit. So Johit is not eligible for voting. Okay, so because first you are reading the name of the person and age of the person, then check it once. 10 greater than or equals to 18? No. Then automatically it goes to else part. Okay. So if you have some statement here after completion of print, so ending of if else statement. So enter name of the person. So Johit is not eligible for voting and ending of if else statement. Again, one more time executing. So Bharati is eligible for voting and ending of if else statement. That means only check whether condition is true or false. If it is true, it will be executed. If it is false, it will be executed. But this statement is executed in both cases. Okay. So because you are only deviating this part, whether based upon this condition, you have to check this or this. Okay. If you want to have two more statements like print true block, print false block. So eligible for voting, true block, then it prints and if else statement. Okay. So that means these two statements comes under two block. This means these two statements will be executed for false block. మీరు జావాలో యూస్ చేస్తారు కదా కర్లీ బ్రేసెస్. సో నార్మల్గా ఏం చేస్తాం జావాలో ద సేమ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లైక్ దిస్. like this. Okay, but here you are using colon, and the true statements are displayed in the same indentation. Okay, again for else you are using colon and follow the same indentation. Okay, like this you can do simple if programs as well as if else. Okay, now coming to elif. So elif is used to compare more statements. Like if expression is true, will be executed statement 1, 2. If it is false, elif, you can check with expression true. If it is true, this one, false, this one. Like that you can do many number of statements. And the example is comparison between 3 variables. Which one is big? Okay. So whether A is greater than or equals to B as well as A is greater than or equals to C, you can say A is big. When B is greater than or equals to C, you can do the same. So read 3 variables, enter value for A, enter value for B, value for C. So now you have to check whether A must greater than or equals to B and A is also greater than or equals to C. Then only you can print A is B. Elif. If it is not true, then you can check B greater than or equals to C. Then print B is, if both cases are not true, finally which one is big? C is big. Okay. So execute this program once. A value is, for example, I am giving 30, B value is 20, C is 10. That is 30 is big. That means 30 greater than or equals to 20 as well as 30 greater than or equals to 10. Both cases true. 30 greater than or equals to 20. Here 30 greater than or equals to 10. So then 30 is big. Okay. Now I am giving value of A as 10, B as 40, C as 20. Here you can check 10 greater than or equals to 40. 10 greater than or equals to 40 condition true? No, false. So the control goes here. 40 greater than or equals to 20? Yes. So then it print 40 is big. 10, 20. So here you can check 10 greater than or equals to 220. 10 greater than or equals to 220. False. Then 220 greater than or equals to 550. No. So finally 550 is big. Okay. So which is an example for elif. Next, the final one, last one of control statement is nested if. Okay, so both elif and nested if are similar ones, but in nested if, we have another if condition within another if. Okay, here, so multiple statements you have to check it once. If it is true, or if it is true, or if it is true, like that. Here, you have one more if statement. You can check one more if statement within another if. Here you can see if this expression 2, statement 1 will be executed as well as you can check one more condition in this expression too. If it is true, statement 2 executed, otherwise statement 3, 4 executed, finally this statements. That means if expression 1 is true, statement 1, and again you have to check expression 2. If it is true, statement 2 will be executed. If it is false, directly statements will be executed. If this condition will false, statement 3, statement 4 will be executed. Okay, so here an example for nested if. If you are reading a gender of particular person and marital status of that person and read the basic value of that particular person. Here the aim is, if the gender of particular person is female and her marital status is yes, you are giving a bonus of 5,000. Okay. If the gender of that particular person is female and not married, then you are giving the basic as 3,000. If the gender is not female, simply that means male, you are giving the basic incentive as 2,000. Okay. So do it on practical. First, you have to read gender of particular person. And read marital status. And finally, read basic of that particular person. Okay, now what are the condition? If gender is female, you have to do some sort of statements here. Otherwise, simply you are incrementing basic as 2,000. Okay, so if the person gender is female, you are doing some sort of statements. If the gender is not female, that means simply you are giving an incentive as 2,000. If the person gender is female and also check the marital status, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Then give basic is equal to basic plus 5,000. Else basic is equal to basic plus 3,000. Finally, print basic of an employee basic. Okay, so check it once. So you are reading gender of a person, marital status of a person, as well as basic of an employee. If person gender is female, simply you are doing some sort of statements. If gender is not female, simply you are incrementing as 2,000. If female, check their marital status also. If marital status is also true, that means gender is female, marital status is yes, increment 5,000. If gender is female and marital status is no, then increment 3,000. If gender is not female, simply give 2,000. Okay, run. Female, marital status yes, and basic of an employee 10,000. So then what is the output? So sex is female, Marital status is yes, both are true. Then the basic is 15,000. Sorry, ma. Here we are not converting. The input value is an integer. Okay. So, chudandi, can only concatenate str not to int. Okay. So, female, marital status is Y, and basic of an employee is 10,000. Then what is the output? 15,000. Okay. Now, one more condition. So, marital status is female, but marital status is no. Then what is the output? Basic is 10,000. Same. So, 10,000 ki enta add avutundi ippudu? 3. Then, oh sorry, here we are giving basic. Okay. So, Python is an interpreter antaniki this is one example ma. Endukante first e line execute ayindi success, e line execute ayindi success, and this is also executed success. ఈ పర్టికులర్ లైన్ దగ్గర అంటే హోల్ కంపైలేషన్ ఎట్ ఏ టైం జరగదు మనకి. ఓకే, లైన్ బై లైన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఆఫ్టర్ సమ్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ పర్టికులర్ కాల్ దగ్గర ఎర్రర్ వస్తే అగైన్ గెట్ బ్యాక్. ఓకే, సో అగైన్ రన్ marital status no 10,000, the output is 13,000. Okay, now the marital status, gender of the person is male, whatever the marital status it is, simply are incrementing only 2,000, so the output is 12,000. Okay, so this is an output for nested if. Okay, within if you are declaring another if statements, whether it may be a simple if or if else or elif, whatever it may be. Okay, so all these are operators and nested ifs. In the next class we will be seeing operators precedence and associativity of operators. Okay, so till now I explained about operators as well as conditional statements, simple if else, elif, and finally nested if. Okay, till now any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Up to clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any doubts?